Yeah, good order. No, I don't know what. That's 21 though, right? Really? Where they're putting oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Who is it? She'll be on it. 80 feet. Wagner's bid 3. And 80 feet. Look at that dirt. And they're in pretty good condition here. But if you get let that's probably close to, I've seen all that rock, that's probably close to Dana Bruce, to the south. Now, it's up to you, you'll have to do it once, and whenever you want to do it. We'll do it when we start our meeting. How many, how far the distance? How long the big one? It went.
Well, it's 8:30 and we'll start this work session. It's I'm gonna talk a little bit about firearms for hunting legislation. We have conservation officer here, so we just we'll let him talk about the upcoming laws and stuff and rifle and what's your take on it. And
well, I think an introduction is probably warrants an introduction here. If nobody knows Ryan Brown, here's our new local game warden. How long you been here now, Ryan?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. He lives right across the school, right across from the school, west of the school. Very active in our community. The hell of a resource for us. Law enforcement backed us up on a number of calls and everything. We pick on him a lot. Call him the minnow mountie, the carp cop, the duck detective, surgeon sergeant, Captain Green Jeans, all kinds of different things, but it's all fun and games, but yeah, he's a hell of a resource for us and very welcome within our office, so. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I'm here. I wanted to answer questions for you. We kind of got guidance on this a little bit to where I can't say whether I would go one way or the other. I can answer questions on if you guys have certain topics that you want to discuss about it. One thing I can say is that, I don't know, again, you're looking for the sheet or talking about, by March 1st, you guys got to make a decision. January 1st is when the law goes into effect on whether it's gonna be rifle or shotgun. By March 1st, you have to essentially let the county or the state know that what you want me to work for. So what do you want me to enforce? If it's gonna stay shotgun, then you need to draft up an ordinance. Again, that's the part I don't know, that's you guys. We have to draft up an ordinance and let the state know how you want me to enforce it. If you guys don't do anything by March 1st, or you decide, hey, we wanna go rifle, then it's going to, you don't have to do anything, and then it's just automatically rifle for you. This kind of opens up the door a little bit with, you guys can, by the county board, you can make different zones within your guys' area. So Ashby's out of this, so we'll just take Ashby out, because that's already rifle, but I'm just gonna give an example. If you guys are like, you know, Herman's gonna be rifle, Wendell's gonna be shotgun, whatever, you divide the county into a bunch of different zones. That's too much of an ordinance now, and I can't enforce that. I can't enforce ordinances at all except this one if it stays one or the other. So once you divide it, they're gonna be responsible for the shotgun or rifle zone. I can't do it. So essentially what I'm saying is if you're gonna do it, stay one or the other. That's my only suggestion to you guys. I don't know if that you have any questions at all.
I guess I had a question is, I mean, I don't care one way or the other because I don't shoot hunt deer, but you know, when you get where it's flatter, I would just, people have asked if, you know, maybe a rifle's too much. I don't know, I guess. I've never shot a rifle, so I don't know.
Well, so, you know, Ryan was in yesterday, and we had a discussion further about this meeting coming up and pros and cons to it, and the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has some relatively pretty good information out there as far as slug versus rifle. And it was 1942 when slug was decided again, in certain parts of the state of Minnesota. And that was as a result of deer numbers being relatively very low. And so the thought process behind that was taking away the higher accuracy of the rifle, moving it to slug, which wasn't so accurate back in the 1940s. To bring deer herd up, but not lessen the numbers of the deer hunters. Well, as technology has moved forward, obviously, rifle slugs and rifle barrels and all that stuff. The slug guns have gotten, very accurate. I can't speak personally about it. I don't slug hunt anymore. But I know in conversations with many, they are very accurate. Now, to your question or your comment, Doyle, about as far as, on the flatter ground out west. One thing that's been brought to my attention as well. People are concerned about that, right? Rifles going further. Well, if you know anything about coyote hunting, you're allowed to shoot high powered rifles at night with infrared scopes, on flats. And so people question the safety aspect of that as well, so. That's the information that I have in addition, to what Ryan has, so. It's my 2 cents worth.
Maybe you want to talk about the publishers in the volume. We do go multiple levels. But we would be liable.
Well, yeah.
Enforcing all those.
Yeah. Multiple ordinances having to do with rifle versus shotgun zones.
I don't think we're really interested in
No,
that.
Well, that to me doesn't make any sense because it's tough to enforce that, if you're in, one township. That part, it's all or nothing, so,
right.
I mean, maybe, if they did decide to go slugs, they could probably keep Ashby in that rifle zone, cause some
Well,
people.
Ashby stays.
Ashby's removed from this because it's already rifle.
Yeah, it's already a rifle zone, so,
Okay.
east of the interstate,
It could, yeah.
that line does not get
Yeah.
changed regardless.
So that's my feeling, it's either all or nothing. I've had a few people from the urban area talk to me about allowing the rifle because, they wanna have the rifle down there. Got an email from a guy. So, from my perspective, I guess,
Now, I can say what I see in the past, the last couple of years, so the way the shotgun zone is now. You can have a legal shotgun or a legal handgun. Well, the definition of a handgun is pretty muddy. I don't remember the exact sizes right now, but there's a certain barrel length and or overall length right now for legal handgun. Well, I have been seeing a lot of people carrying around, AR style platforms with like a 300 blackout or 308 in the shotgun zone, and I can't do anything about it. It's a shotgun zone, but it fits the definition of a handgun.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing I'll say that I've noticed.
If you went shotgun, or if you went rifle, people can still use a shotgun if they.
Yep, so just the rifle zone just is kind of a catch-all, so now you can use muzzleloader, you can use shotgun, you can use rifle, handgun. You can use pretty much everything you want in the rifle, but if it stays shotgun, then it's only shotgun or legal handgun. And again, I've seen that trend of people starting to go towards those AR platforms.
So does every county need to make this determination?
It's everything that's already in the shotgun zone, so up in Cass Lake or something like that, they don't need to,
Oh, but everything's south.
everything's south, yep.
And who made this decision to go this direction and put that decision onto the counties?
That was
Legislature, or-
that was the state of Minnesota thing that we're gonna finally go rifle, but we're gonna give the counties an opportunity. We're not just gonna force the counties to follow our route in a sense. So you have to decide. They're putting it in your guys' hands to decide whether you wanna go shotgun or rifle, because there's some counties, I believe way down south, when this was starting to gain traction, that they were like, no, we wanna stay shotgun. So they were really fighting for it, and I think that's why the state's like, okay, we'll allow you to do an ordinance, and then our conservation officers can still enforce that ordinance. Otherwise, I can't enforce any ordinances.
There's latitude in that legislation though, for, whatever you guys decide you wanna do.
Sorry.
For you. There's latitude to allow, counties to do that versus
Yes.
just, shoving it up the backside.
Yeah.
What are the other, you represent or actually work more counties than just Grant, like Traverse?
Nope, I was covering that for a while when it was vacant,
Okay,
but nope, I cover all of Grant County and then I cover up to Dalton over to Eagle Lake, so I
Okay.
cover a little bit of Otter Tail, but Other than that, it's this Grant County.
So what are the other counties around us doing, like Traverse and Wilton, and what are they
those-
doing? You
That
know?
that I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know, the other conservation officers in those areas that I know of anyway aren't talking to their county boards at all, they're just allowing them to do it, whatever they decide.
Right,
I was asked to be here, I heard you guys had some questions or whatever, so I wanted to make sure, be as transparent as possible to see if I could just give you guys information you didn't already have.
I think it'd be a smoother transition of all the bordering counties of us allow for rifles, so then, you know, you're not on the county line, you can't shoot here, but you can shoot here. You know, that might get, you know, where there's trouble. You know,
Absolutely.
so
that'd
one
be-
thing, what I'd like to see, and I'm just one person on the board, is I think we should do an education thing. And get people that they kind of know, I don't care, it's up to you guys on what you wanna do, but I think we should have some type of a forum or meeting again, more than just this. So to get people involved and educated, things like that, as far as dirt backdrop and, you know, kids and, you know, cause these rifles, if they're shooting 300 Win mags, they're gonna go out there a ways. And they're gonna shoot bigger, longer, flatter shooting guns than just ARs and things like that. So, you know, choice of gun, choice of location, your backdrop, and an education piece at the same time, I think should be conveyed. Now, whether we do it or not, and you guys are involved with it, or whatever we wanna do here,
So,
but
like a public comment?
yes.
Oh, I thought Billy was volunteering to do firearm safety.
Yeah,
No,
I-
That's what it sounded like to me.
This is, they're the enforcement right here, so.
Well, that's not enforcement, that's education.
Well, but when you guys are here too, as this education piece, you know what I mean, you're getting, you're
That
meeting
would
the
only
public.
apply if the board, you know, did make a decision on how they want to move forward.
So Ryan, make sure I'm clear. Does the county have to make their decision or is there a default?
The default is by March 1st, if you guys haven't made your decision, the county's rifle.
Right. So I guess my question is, and I did talk a little bit with Tina, we do have that stay in your lane ordinance. Is this one of
It's
those
not an ordinance, it's a resolution.
resolution, excuse me? Thank you for correcting me. Is this one of those situations that we really should be weighing in on?
It specifically says counties can decide, so it's been thrown into your lane.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, no, so what they're giving, okay, I wanna make sure I understand. So the state said, hey, the entire state of Minnesota will be rifle next year. It's in effect January 1st. They're saying it will be rifle. However, they're giving the counties that are already in the shotgun zones, if you want to create an ordinance that contradicts that, you are allowed to do that. And the conservation officer can enforce that ordinance. It's the only ordinance that I can enforce if you guys decide to draft up an ordinance for a shotgun zone. That's kind of what it's saying. Otherwise, the default, yeah, if you guys don't do anything by March 1st, it's rifle.
This has legal authority. I think what you're referencing is when we're asked to weigh in with the statement that has nothing to do, it carries no weight. This would change law for Grant County.
I did visit with Justin briefly about that resolution, and he said it was like, the county board making a position statement. So an example would be,
Political statement.
yeah, like when they changed the Minnesota flag. The county board, you know, having a statement, a position statement about how they feel about that. That's the kind of stuff that resolution address, not this stuff.
And I fully agree with that. If somebody has made the decision for the state. Do we need to make the decision unless it's gonna be shotgun?
You know, I said at the last meeting, I'm concerned living not in the bottom of the river valley, but on the side, that a rifle projectile is gonna travel a long way, and if you go lower in elevation than the individual who shot it, it's gonna travel that much farther. Today, I don't know that I'm terribly worried about being rifle as opposed to shotgun. If we looked at how many farm sites you had around here 50, 60 years ago, where there were farm sites all over, that would be a different story. I don't see the massive drives, you know, this year we're scheduled. Unless doesn't stop raining, this year we'll have the corn essentially gone. There won't be the drives through cornfields with people. If you have individuals hunting from an elevated stand, it's less danger, and I see more. You obviously see more of what people are doing for hunting, but there's more elevated stand hunting than driving today, isn't there?
Yeah, I should say that, yeah.
I mean, so to me, that makes it considerably safer than
I
if
said-
you've got 10, 12 guys on the ground walking through corn where they can't see each other.
I
Or see where
would say
they're-
the second weekend, what I've noticed is people start to get desperate, so they start to walk more, start driving woods. The second weekend's a little different, but first weekend, everybody's sitting in the deer stands for the most part.
That's my take on it. The one question I had is, so can we change this? And I'm not proposing we change back and forth a lot, but is it March first of every year, or is it just this next March first, we have to make a decision and then we stay?
From what my guidance was told, or what I was told, is by March first, you guys make your decision. That is the decision until the end of time, unless you guys decide, I wanna change it again. So you
So
guys,
it can be changed.
it can be changed, but they're not gonna constantly bug you, and if you don't
Right.
bring it up by March first, then it's gonna resort to rifle, no, it's. If you guys remove that ordinance, 6 years from now, let's say you could make the ordinance for the shotgun zone. And then you remove it 6 years from now, then it's just gonna resort to what the state has, it's rifle, but you would have to let them know by March first. The reason the March first deadline is there is because they need time to change all the regulation books. They're gonna put this county, the zones that we have, they're gonna put that in the regulation book so people can know, okay, in this zone of shotgun, this zone of rifle, which is going to cross over into other areas of, let's say Stevens goes rifle and you guys go shotgun. There's gonna be a little conflict there where people go crossing the road. But that's for me and Emily, that's who's the warden down there, that's me and her to decide or figure out.
Well, what I was getting at is that, and I can't cite another example, but there's things that come out of St. Paul that potentially we could differ. But we don't. Well, this has come out of St. Paul, unless we make a decision to differ. It defaults to rifle, and we don't need to make a decision, because no decision is truly a decision.
It all boils down to know your target and what's beyond. So,
And an education piece, I know.
so.
Just get the public sentiment and an education piece. Before March. Well, however you guys wanna do it, however we want it, but I think it needs to be done.
Ordinance, we do have to have a public comment, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go,
You don't.
Then it is what it is.
right.
And then, that you emailed Barb, there was a packet that was sent, or maybe sent an email, I don't 100% know, again, that's the part I don't know from the state, that they sent all the information, I'm kinda saying now is all gonna be in that packet, of what you guys needed. Your steps moving forward, whether you wanna go shotgun or rifle, I don't know where that went.
I think it was before my time and somewhere in transition I got mixed, so I've reached out to ask them to resend it, so we get the packet of information.
So you're saying, Ryan, if they stayed shotgun, or if they went to the rifle and a couple years down the road, maybe received complaints that they don't want rifle, they do have the authority to make that ordinance at that time?
As far as I was tracking, yes, that's what they're saying, that it's that state statute that made this rifle forever says that the county can change their ways, you guys can do what you want.
5 years.
With within certain, like, hey, by March first kind of thing for the next year, or whatever, just so they can change the regulation book, people can actually see where they're hunting.
But it doesn't say in the law that you have to make a decision by March first of 2026. Cause that would only give us one chance.
Let me pull it up right now. Notification of fire restriction during, deer hunting option, by March first. By March first, 2026, the Commissioner of Natural Resources must notify county boards and county sheriffs of the option available to counties in the shotgun zone to adapt an ordinance under Minnesota statute section 97B.031 subdivision 7. Yep. 97B.031.
That's in the revisor. Right, is that?
This is, we get, emails that changes, all the changes that's gonna happen within the DNR standpoint, so this has all the new updates, they're not in revisor yet. 97B.031 is, but it doesn't have the new.
But did-
language.
Did that say that the commissioner had to notify county boards that they could change?
Yeah, and that was the thing that, the packet or whatever that was. supposed to-
Right, that doesn't say we have to make a decision by that date.
Yeah,
Defaults.
I just read that now.
It does. You gotta have a deadline.
Well, yeah, the deadline is March 1st to make the decision, but if it doesn't say 2026 for the decision, that was for the notification, the way I heard it.
Yeah, I guess that, yeah, that makes sense, maybe you guys don't have to do it this year, you can have a trial run.
Well, right, cause I haven't heard a lot of uproar about going back to shotgun. And until they do, I don't. That's my thoughts on it.
Going back, say that again, when you said upward about going back to the shotgun, you haven't heard much talk? Or
I haven't had a lot of people asking me to make it go back to shotgun.
Like I said, unless we're gonna go shotgun, I don't think we should make any decision, let the state statute.
Stay as is. Well, we don't, I mean, yeah, if we don't want it to go to shotgun, you don't have to do anything. Yeah, did you say nothing about it?
Absolutely. That way we have not put our stamp on a change that,
Right, that's maybe controversial or not.
that goes a little in line with what I was saying, but I know it's different, but it's a kind of a position in a sense. Or lack of a position.
I'd kinda like to use a cannon to block shooting.
I can't.
Yeah, no.
I'm not opposed to you being able to use a cannon over there. I'm suspecting he might have something to say.
Well, he comes to my place anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No?
What's that? And someone needs one.
So right, has anybody brought up buckshot? I mean, that's what they call it, buckshot. I mean, in the southern states, they shoot.
That's,
With
that's
buckshot.
still restricted.
You're right.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on that one.
Okay, just checking.
Doyle was just mentioning a cannon.
That's not buckshot, that's one shot.
That's why they call it buckshot.
Well,
That's where you get people hurt too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
remember back in the day, Dwight, when it was the old 870 with buckshot?
Yeah, for the high flyers.
Oh,
with
squad.
a squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was a good load to have if you were in a tight spot.
Didn't have to aim very good.
Nasty load.
I know that was a favorite piece of my dad. Anytime there was a, something, a coon or something in town or, or somebody's running away from them and then they shoot the front tires off underneath the car or things like that, Come on.
Are there any more questions for Lumen?
I guess no, I don't have anything.
Sounds like the conversation has been derailed.
Okay. I just want to thank him and Sheriff's Office for coming this morning. I thought it'd just be good to have the discussion. That's the questions. We have a little time. I'll get that checked on the packet so we could.
Yeah,
That's
that's gonna
the
be,
reason.
I think that's gonna be more informative than me, I'm definitely not an expert in this new legislation, I'm just telling you what I've heard. But that packet is, it lays everything out, or email, whatever it is, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll keep on Barb at the office down here to get another one sent out.
One more thing that I'd like to bring up is what it probably would do is these guys, especially with these scopes that you can shoot at night, things like that, there's probably gonna be some more poaching going on. And what they'll do is they'll, it's way the heck out there and they'll take a crack at it, but if they kill it, then they'll come back at 2 o'clock in the morning and get it. And you guys have already been on some of that already. I want to just point that direction. I know all about what went on out there. It might, well, that might be more of that. Just because you can reach out and touch them with a rifle.
Sorry, in the valley.
I can see it, yeah.
I don't think it matters.
Not, oh no.
So if
I'm
I'm gonna go and poach a deer, but I can only use a shotgun,
No.
I think if you've crossed the line into poaching deer, it doesn't really matter what zone you're in.
It happens.
It's gonna happen, and they've got a number, Billy, I don't care, they got a number.
And especially if it's a big buck, you know what I mean? They're pretty bold in the middle of the night. So is everybody else.
I know a lot of what's going on out there.
Oh, great. Are there any other questions regarding the legislation?
I'd like to know who they is.
Otherwise, we have 5 minutes before the start of the next meeting, so it'd be a great time to use the restroom.
I want to use the word they instead of we. How's that sound?
Thank
I
you
don't-
for coming.
I'm a sportsman and in fact,
At some point, you gotta know when the hole's getting a little deep, you maybe wanna stop digging.
I'm a good pocket golfer, correct?
Yeah, well,
So thank you for coming.
Thanks, Ryan.
Have a-
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for helping us up in Ashby with
Yeah.
gun safety too.
Yeah, one thing what you gotta do is if you see something like that, you gotta say something.
Yeah.
We're all supposed to be sportsmen out there, right? Now you gotta teach your kids that.
You guys all have my business card?
I'll take
I'll take
it.
one.
You seen any migration going on?
This has been a really, I don't know what's.
I was up in Manitoba last week there. And we were struggling, but
Thank you.
there wasn't a lot up there. Nothing.
Oh, it's been a really bad year for the migration.
Yeah,
I have a manufacturer.
they'll come through the
so you gotta
last
find like you're talking about.
Yeah.
2 weeks, they're deer hunting.
Yeah, the opening was,
Or it's kind of like lunch door.
that was okay, and then Sunday was not good.
Going around
And
the
then it's
river right
kind of been,
now.
I don't know, it's been up in the air, and then what? Some day last week, I can't remember what day it was, but I saw a pretty good number and then it fell off again.
Yeah.
Now I have everybody complaining, where are they, where are they? I don't know,
And Canada.
I don't have a GPS of
Yeah,
where they are.
Right, they need snow up north in Canada and Dakota. And then then it shifts this direction.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
So how much pressure is on the North Ottawa and Poundland? Have you been out there seeing what was going on?
Yeah, I drive around there, I generally don't see much activity and generally around deer hunting is when I'm starting to see people starting to show up around there.
Right.
There's a lot of private land people that sit around, but as in terms of public, not too much.
Any elders out there on those spaces for ducks and geese?
I mean, yeah, that's always a safe haven for them, so they're always generally in the middle. I've driven down a couple of those roads in there, just to see the numbers and see if there's any activity in there. I have a couple people that just like go around those little gates, so I'll sit in there some days and just wait for somebody to do that.
sure.
I might be one of them guys because I sit on that involvement committee.
Okay.
So I'm kind of a follower, but I ain't gonna shag anything out there. And if there's duck, let them rest. That's the kind, that's where I'm. Yeah, let them rest. They go out a half a mile and they get shot at all the way around the thing.
Yeah.
And what they've done is move water off onto the farmable land that's in there. So it's real shallow, so the ducks really like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there's invertebrates and all kinds of stuff. We sit on, I don't know if you know,
Through 2026.
Kes, I can't remember his first name, but we have 2 DNR people sitting on that committee.
Okay.
So, and we're trying to do conservation efforts and, make sure wild rice and whatever we can keep and retain.
And that's why.
Cause that's a hot spot in the spring of the year for any kind of migration of anything, any bird. I mean, we get, the National Geographic's out there and we get a nest of people coming out of the cities that come with their cameras and their telescopic lenses and all that stuff, and they spend days out there. And I think it's a great idea.
Ask a question, you guys, is this still?
It's clear that, shoot this, the relevant stage.
And pull it together.
To make a decision on it, they're not obligated to.
That means that this.
See ya, Dr. Detective.
Well, I'm says me.
Oh, thank you.
Go to Raymond. Right. That's a, I get it.
We do that closed session right during that DDA day.
Try it.
That's what I would recommend.
You get people sitting versus driving. Like Ryan was saying something about, you know, getting pressed the second weekend. Kind of thing. Yeah, start the meeting, you come in.
Again.
Well, it's 9 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order, stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The agenda, we're gonna add a little closed session thing during the DDA discussion.
It's for negotiations.
Anybody have anything else to add to the agenda?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
With that addition?
Yeah.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Meeting minutes were sent out.
We're in the minutes, Mr. Chair.
Hmm?
We're in the minutes.
Yep.
So I'm gonna question, maybe it's a point of clarification under the Fair Board. Where it says that to approve the funding for the Grant County Fair Board, so are they then the owner of record of this building? Or is that to be determined?
I would say as of now, they would see.
I think if you wanna make it so that the county is, I think you've changed a whole lot of the scope, because now the county has to go out and get bids. They have to, well, I mean, first of all, did we have an architect draw it up, then the county has to get, you've added 18 months to the timeline, and probably another $1 million.
No, and I didn't ask the question with necessarily that in mind. I just, and I don't know the structure of the Fair Board, if that's us. official. I'm not saying I think the county should, I agree with that, but I also know that the reference is a fair board. And I just can't, but the chair said, yeah, so. I'm fine with that.
Anybody got anything else on the minutes?
Motion to approve it.
Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Warrants?
Motion, we paid the warrants.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion on any of them? Not all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, PFM Financial, Boise Sioux Watershed.
Katie, would you like me to start?
Yeah, good morning, Heather.
Great. Good morning. Thank you for having me at your meeting this morning. This is the third or fourth time I think we have brought this topic to the board, so I appreciate your diligence in this matter. The Boise Sioux Watershed District is financing County Ditch number 3 and number 21. And there have been a series of actions by the board that have occurred this year to set that up for financing. The most recent was on August 5th, the board approved a resolution which authorized us to solicit bids, and then we had certain parameters listed in that resolution. And subject to financing meeting those parameters, the board chair and county coordinator were then authorized to accept a bid on the county's behalf. So what we are doing this morning is now we have done that bid process. Board Chair Doyle and Tina, the county coordinator, were part of a conversation with Chad, your county auditor, with Jamie from the Boise Sioux Watershed District, and we selected a proposal that will have the financing terms for this drainage bond that will be the lowest cost of financing available and have the flexible financing terms, which were going to be useful if the special assessments were to be prepaid early. It would have the flexibility then to prepay down the bond. So what's on the agenda for this morning is for the board to pass actually the resolution. So the resolution contains all of the details about the financing, the dollar amount, which is $4,332,000. The term, it is a 15-year term, but there are two separate special assessment payments that are 10 years for the ditch 3 and then the 15 years for the ditch 21. So what we ask for the board this morning is that you have a wow, the word all of a sudden escaped my mind. Somebody makes a motion, thank you, and then a second, and it will be a roll call vote. And what it is just to have the final piece of approving this resolution, and then on Thursday this week, on October 23rd, that would be the closing date where the county would receive the funds, and then the Boys to Sioux Watershed District could present their invoices for reimbursement. A reimbursement resolution was done by the board last August. That is a lot of information. Happy to answer any questions.
Well, I got a statement that I'd like to make. It's nice to see that there's latitude between the two ditches, because one ditch 3 was a repair and ditch 21 is an improvement, so there's quite a bit of different numbers between the two. I mean, there were, big numbers there, so it's nice to know that if they wanna pay ahead, on those payments, you know what I mean, and kind of accelerate them a little bit and clean them up. That's a great thing. So it's got latitude in the financing, which is a great thing. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. That was one of our goals to accomplish.
Anybody else have any questions? Could we get a motion to approve this?
Well, I will make that motion, Mr. Chair. For the resolution.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote. Ken,
Yes.
Troy,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Doyle, yes.
Great. Well, thank you for that. Chair Doyle, there will be some closing documents for you to sign today. I think Tina has those prepared for you.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Chad. Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yep.
So as I'll be meeting or calling Jamie over at Boise Sioux to talk about, we've kind of got some sort of a plan on reimbursement for their bills they've paid and the bills that will be coming in on these two ditches. As those requests for reimbursement or requests for payment come in, are those things that you would like to see go through the commissioner bills that you meet at your meetings, or should we go ahead and pay them with an auditor warrant or on their own, or do you want those presented to you?
I don't know, I guess payment's been approved, so if anybody wants to see them, or Bill, or
Just for transparency purposes, I think it would be nice to see them, in some type of commissioner's warrant or an audit warrant or something like that, that numbers and those dollars pass through county and pass through our eyes as well.
Well, you get copies of everything. I just want to know if I can go ahead and pay them without your approval first, or if, like your commissioner warrants, you approve all those bills today. None of those have been released before your approval. Others go out and you see them after the fact. That's my question. We're talking about some pretty big sums of money, I think, that Boise Sioux has already dished out here. So
We're not involved in the construction and we didn't approve bids. I mean, my opinion is pay them and we'll see what it is.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because I mean, we would probably already now at the end of this month, send Boise Sioux some of those funds that they've expended. And I didn't know if, waiting for another couple, 2, 3 weeks, it might be for your approval. That's all I was asking.
In my opinion is pay them. I mean, yeah, we don't wanna hold up 3 weeks at that. Potentially, they got large expenses already expended, yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
they do. Okay,
Right.
that was my question.
Yep. Thank
Thanks.
you. Okay, Ashley?
Alright, so I'm just here from the table discussion from last board meeting of how the board would like to proceed with the DDA job descriptions.
Well, we were gonna wait and see what negotiations had, and we brought it up to them, and we never really.
So, yeah, either take the recommendation, from the consultants. I guess unless the board has a different plan.
Well, I mean, we brought it up to them, and it's not unusual in negotiation to bring something up and not really get a response until the next time you meet. So there may still be more information from them coming back.
Anybody got anything else on that?
And I would make a motion to close for negotiation. Close the meeting for negotiations.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'll make the motion that we open the meeting back up.
Second.
Motion second, open the meeting, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Yeah, I'm pretty wet. Make my 10 o'clock. Hmm?
Are we waiting for Bill?
I don't know what we're waiting for.
We could just go, I guess.
Oh,
Oh,
Just teasing here.
Okay, Bill's here now, so.
I guess just if there was a decision on the table discussion.
Did you open the meeting?
Yep.
Okay.
Ken, you got anything about that, or?
Well, excuse me, what was the question?
If there's any decisions on the table.
Where here it says recommended and action a motion to approve to move forward with PDA's recommendation of job description. Are we expecting a motion or?
Yep.
Well, then I guess I would. Motion that we move forward
with DDA's recommendation of job description development.
Okay, we got a motion, do we need a second?
Second,
Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Sheriff's Office with the BWC policy and public comment.
That's that.
you know how long I had to look before I realized what that, cause I skipped over the first part where it said what that BWC meant.
You felt like, Boundary Waters Canoe area?
Yeah.
You forgot the A then.
I was wondering why we were getting it.
If it doesn't stop raining. Should we move forward or are we good here?
It's up to you.
Is there anybody?
Nobody on, okay. So,
I'm not sure, have you guys all seen the letter and the policy?
the policy regarding,
The survey, taking the survey?
I did mine.
Did you?
I didn't do, what, did I need to do that?
no, it's just, I didn't do that, it's just for public comment.
Yeah.
It'll get hashed out here regardless of whether you fill out the survey or not.
So we had 93 responses of the survey, the digit, that they did it digitally.
We didn't receive anything by paper, submitted back to our office.
So, but I think we'll keep it open for longer. So the first question is, do you feel that the Grant County Sheriff's Office use body worn cameras in our community? 84% that we already have them. Do you feel that the body worn cameras would help increase community trust in law enforcement? 77.4% said yes. Do you believe that the behavior of the public would improve with a deputy wearing a body worn camera? And that was about 50% said yes, 22 said no, and 28 were unsure. Do you believe the behavior of the deputy would improve with the deputies wearing the body worn cameras? 63% said yes, 15% said no, and 21.7% were unsure. In your opinion, do you believe the citizens of Grant County are in favor of deputies using body worn cameras? 49.5% said yes, 14 said no, 14%, and 36.6 were unsure. The next question is, when do you feel a deputy should activate a body worn camera? 69.9% said during all contacts. 23.7%, the decision to activate a body worn camera should be left up to the deputy. And then there's just a small portion that said only when a person has given permission to use them. Do you feel that most law enforcement agencies will be using body worn cameras in the next 5 years? And 87.1% said yes. 8.6% said no, or unsure. A small portion said no. If you have contact with the Grant County deputy who is using a body worn camera, would you feel comfortable having the contact documented on video? And 82.8% said yes. 97.7% said no, and 7.5% said I was unsure. And then we have lots of comments.
So one of the things, as far as the recording of individuals, if you looked at our policy that we have, there's the activation of a body worn camera. And in the policy, it states that members should activate their BWC during all calls for service and the performance of law enforcement related functions. Members are not required to activate their camera during casual or informal contacts with members of the public that are not part of or related to law enforcement functions. However, members should activate their cameras anytime a contact with an individual becomes hostile or adversarial. So I know that was one of the questions, during the survey is, should it be on all the time? And no, it will not be on all the time. If I, could have a conversation with one of you on the public, non law enforcement related, there's no need to record that conversation. The policy is very specific. As you know, it's through Lexipol, adopted by the Minnesota Sheriff's Association policy that we've had for ever. I can't remember the date anymore. But it's a policy that's not been in our manual. You just have to go back and retrieve it, change it to what Alberta County, how we want it to read in a sense, and then apply it and distribute it to our group.
We've also posted this information on our website. So Ashley got that going, and we have facts, bunch of questions. We have, especially when it comes to data privacy and, can I get a copy of that camera, footage or whatever. So our website has a lot of information on it.
I got a question.
Okay.
So when your investigators are sitting down, taking a statement or interview from a suspect or victim, when they're in your office there, that camera work in there is sufficient and this one doesn't have to be on?
No, we would run both.
You run both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, in our 2 interview rooms, and soft interview room upstairs and hard interview room downstairs, along with our booking processing area. Those cameras, the body worn cameras would be on if you're dealing with somebody, even though we have the other systems.
That makes sense, cause when you're walking them around, if they're jabbering.
And you never know. It's technology.
Yeah.
It's lovely when it works.
And we operate in a kind of the same sense right now. If you were, even though we have the recording system for the interview rooms and stuff like that, the deputies are still running either their cell phones with the program, or still, I don't know if anybody's still using their little recorders that we have as a backup. It just a redundancy, I guess you could say.
What's the battery life on them cameras? I mean, is that something like 10 hours, 12 hours per day kind of a thing? And
Well, we hope it's more than 12 because
Yeah,
we're
it's more than 12, yeah, so.
okay, I mean, I just call for the question. So when you dock them, how do you charge them and maintain them? Can you?
So like when you're in your car, it's always on, our body.
Right.
There's a cord that you can,
Okay.
like, if you got an hour left of your shift and it's been busy, you're probably gonna have to maybe plug it in, just in case. But you can just leave it right here plugged in.
And then back to the office, there's docking stations.
Right. Like a radio.
8 bank
Yeah.
docking stations that will have the extra batteries, because each one comes with an extra battery. So there's a big at the office where you can switch out.
And I believe it's just a universal C charging cord, so you can charge it at home.
So I got a question under 428.7.7. Under denials, redactions and notices, it references the sheriff should work with the custodian of records. It's the only place where I see custodian of records. Is that a outside? Or that an appointed position or a designated position, or what is the custodian of
That's
records?
Tina.
Our-
So when these videos are downloaded into your system, does that have to be done in the office?
It's all cloud based.
No, I'm gonna do it.
So when they're done with their shift, they can, 10 minutes before their shift's over, they can download
It's
that?
Automatic.
It's automatic.
It's putting it in there all the time?
Yeah, you don't have to, return to the office to do a download to connect to a micro tick antenna like you do now with the squad cars. for the watch guard system. It's cloud-based, so it's automatic, constant download.
So they don't have to worry about that then.
Correct.
It don't compile it, it does it automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And then. So once your information's in your base database there. There's some. People that are gonna need access to that, right? Like the county attorneys and for discovery purposes and stuff.
Well,
So the county attorney would make a request to you. Or to, then that information would be given to them.
So I believe, right, the request comes and then we can send it,
a
Right,
link,
yeah,
a link
right,
for them to log into,
yeah.
to grab that data.
and as I understand that there's other surrounding counties that use, evidence.gov. They already have a login, but it should be really simple for Justin to get all this information. I know like State Patrol, DNR,
Yep.
BCA, they have already been using evidence.com, so.
So then some of this information eventually is public data, right?
Depends on what it is, yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So the report that the deputy puts in, to the county attorney or goes through your staff or however that works, you refer to the camera at such and such a day, such and such a time and everything like that for any of the investigation stuff that's in that report, right? So they kind of, you marry the two together between the camera and the report and then refer to this and, right?
Yeah.
Date, time, the whole 9 yards in the
So it
report.
organizes it because everything has a case number.
Okay,
And so any evidence coming into evidence.com has to have a case number, and so if it has the same case number, it's all gonna be linked to the same report.
great.
Yeah.
So you gotta look through a whole bunch of footage just to
Right.
get one thing.
It's streamlined, yeah. And then also, like for, what's that called? Like chain of custody. It's logging all the chain of custody, if you log in to overlook it, to watch the video or whatever, it's all being logged. So that's great because chain of custody is
Huge.
very important, yeah.
So I got a question under 428.7.
0.70.
For 7,
Where it says the media is the sole property of Grant County Sheriff's Office, and then on the bottom, farther down, it says that the BWC media remains the property of the Sheriff's Office and shall not be used by a vendor for any purposes without the explicit approval of the sheriff or authorized designee. So the question I have is, if it's the sole property of the Sheriff's Office, where does that put Grant County, our board and county attorney or designee in this? Because we've kind of been down this road.
well, I think what they're referencing here, the vendor actually being, Axon. Okay, so what this is stating is that Axon has no right just to grab, let's say if we have a high-speed chase. Axon doesn't have a right to go and take that video and start sharing it for training purposes or anything like that. That has to fall under the approval of Grant County.
But it doesn't, what I'm wondering. Grant County / Grant County Sheriff's Office, and then the designee. So if the county decided that the media should be available to, let's say in this case, Justin, it doesn't say that.
Well,
It says it's only the office.
right,
Just like any other information that we store, it's not public unless
unless,
it's under this data practices.
yeah, unless it falls under, unless it falls under, the data practices and the proper requests for the data. I don't think that it really needs anything other.
Help me out when you say unless. What are you getting at there?
Under state statute, there's data practices rules. And so if you don't fall underneath that, nobody gets that information.
No, I understand that, but how about other than that?
What do you mean?
Okay, so with this information that we are still the holders of that data. And if you make a request under Minnesota state statute for the data, release of data, there's specific points within that statute to say, this is what you're entitled to, and these are the reasons why you're entitled to it under statutes. If you don't fall within those reasons or under the statute and everything, then you are not privy to that information. Right now,
I, all the regulations, I'm saying, this says it's the sole property of the sheriff's office. I'm saying it should be the sole property of Grant County / the sheriff's office, so it's a property of both.
Well, we don't go and walk in, I can't just go walk into the evidence room.
No.
yeah,
We would fall under the same guidelines if we wanted to see that video, we'd have to make that request.
that's right.
So,
Is that what the custodians?
Well, it's a little bit.
Is
I
Is
wouldn't
it kind
even
of
go
like
there.
the dad,
I wouldn't even go there.
it's under the care and the custody of the Grant County Sheriff's Office. You would be the person to release it if it fits the criteria, right? So it's under your care and custody. And then it's it's county data, but it's under your care and custody.
I wouldn't,
So
I don't know that I'd consider it county data because
Criminal investigations are.
we've never, you know, anything that we currently hold. As far as audio, video recordings, physical evidence, paper evidence, reports. Electronically or paper versions are not subject to release. Unless that request comes directly to our office. And then I'm speaking with the county attorney, to make the determination if that can be released or not. Never has it been, I guess, Grant County, as if you wanna put it that way, their decision as a whole to release that information, or giving Grant County as the keeper of that information, because Grant County technically doesn't hold it, the sheriff's office holds it.
Well, it's not so long ago that we had we couldn't even write a check in this county and pay a bill because of the elected official.
Okay, I just wanted to say with these policies are written by multiple attorneys
Oh, yeah.
statewide. And so if they felt that the county needed to be in there, they would have put it in there.
And we can certainly have that conversation with Justin, you know,
That's what I was gonna recommend is, like I say, we have a little bit of a track record. And to have that, the sole owned property of,
So let's say that it did, that the policy did say that it was the sole property of Grant County. What does that actually change? It's the individual in that position. It is not because a policy said, you can't policy the results you're looking for. You either have the right person or you don't.
And to be,
There's no way I want Grant County, as in this board, to say, yeah, that's our information, release it. That's not this board's role. The ownership of that is implied in Grant County Sheriff's Office. To just say it's Grant County's information without the sheriff's office in there would be like saying, yes, the evidence in the evidence storage is Grant County. I can go in there anytime I want because, I mean, my card doesn't give me access there for a very good reason.
and that was gonna be my question then was, are you, with questioning whether it's the Grant County or Grant County Sheriff's Officer / do you believe that if it says Grant County, does that then give the representatives of Grant County, let's say the board, the right to access that information?
No, I'm not, what I read, and I don't know the specifics, but it's been explained to us that the powers of the sheriff in the state of Minnesota are very high. Now, what we're saying is, are giving the power of your position in this policy to be the sole owner of it.
Right, and I would protect that information, to great length, right? Let me explain.
Yes,
I'd protect that information to great length if it's not to be released to anybody without, cause or right to do so. That's what I'm getting at. Now, like I said earlier, you come to me with the proper paperwork, the statutes, stating as to why I need to release this information to you personally. I have to follow that statute. And if it's all within the legal rights of the law, then it's like, okay, Mr. Johnson, here's the information you requested. If it's not within the law, you're not entitled to it, and then we can fight about it.
that's what
And no, I mean, that is part of. Excuse me, I mean, that is part of the sheriff role is also protecting private data. And yeah, I will protect that data to great lengths because ultimately it comes down on the sheriff.
It does.
On who's releasing that information. If I unlawfully release information to somebody that they're not privy to. Hello, lawsuit. So,
I'm not,
yeah,
And to be able to have this information, you have to have like CGS, clearance. I mean, it's. But we can add.
yeah, no, we'll certainly, because we do have the abilities within Lexipol to, write policies as we see fit and within the law and make adjustments that could benefit us. So we have that option.
and my point was, if Justin, as our designee, made a request because of a situation, and it permits you to deny it based on the sole property of,
I can't deny it because I claim it to be my property.
well, it says that though.
Well,
It says it's the sole property of the sheriff's
It's talking
office.
about between Axon and the sheriff's office. I have a feeling there would be ramifications if Justin came out and said, I can't prosecute this case because I can't get the information in. I'm not terribly worried about what this policy says.
Okay,
I have a feeling that at that point, there would be ramifications that this board would not need to get involved with.
so we're okay with it then.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise we had to go back and look at all of our policies about how we store evidence and how we have squad camera. I mean, this is body worn cameras. We have squad cam. All of this is gonna reference.
Okay, I'm fine. That would be neat.
well, we'll stall with the conversation with you, just for clarification, but yeah, like I said, I will go to great lengths to protect information.
Yeah, I have no question about that, so we'll do that.
Okay.
Do you want us to adopt this policy or what do you want?
Yeah, this is just the information.
Okay.
Or public if there was any questions.
Well, when are the cameras?
So,
Cause we should probably have it adopted before we start using them, right?
well, you don't have to adopt this.
We approved it.
No, yeah, we're saying, here's our policy.
Okay.
This is what. The
This
policy
is
is.
what we're doing.
Yep. So we do have a schedule, set up. We already started here coming, we have, don't we have meetings too? This afternoon. We have a number of meetings that do come up with Axon. We do have in-person training starting with our, taser, on December 4th.
Bill said he'd help
You
you.
looking for a victim?
Yes.
I can outrun one.
And then we were.
I wanna call them on that.
Here we go. And then we did have our next training, having to come up on December 9th, but that falls right in the middle of our sheriff's and chief deputy conference. So we pushed that back until, January. But as we sit right now,
It's weekly,
it's,
at least
yeah,
one
that
meeting
we're
with.
having meetings and starting trainings, equipment, going out, for the fleet side of it. They're already talking January now for getting all the new cameras installed in the squads, still come here on site to do that. So yeah, it's happening.
So is there, once you guys get down into this thing and get, you got some footage, could you just bring a little bit of that footage back to us?
Yeah.
And then
Sure,
so we
and
can
if
just see the
not-
clarity, see where it's at, and so if somebody asks us a question.
We'd probably do a scenario, based on something, I don't.
No,
want to,
yeah.
Can you bring me the video footage of paving Bill?
You know, we still have the CD of Dwight getting tased, I have that.
Well, let's compare.
Keep this up and not put a dunk tank.
One video to the next, let's see how technology.
Not that it made an,
Aggressive.
John, not that it made an impression on me, that, but it was November 23rd, 2005. That,
Still wears.
Not that I'm scarred for life because of this.
There a little PTSD involved in that? Mike?
Oh, I ain't doing that again.
How do you know?
Huh?
Yes, we
How do you
will.
know?
Not-
Yeah,
not-
we would certainly bring something.
So, you know what I mean, just as a reference, so then we can kind of get an idea of just how clear it is and how, you know what I mean, whether you're moving around or just what you're doing with it, that'd be nice.
Well, here's another thing, you know, if you wanted to look at some of the stuff yourself online, you know, you could YouTube almost anything having to do with Axon body worn cameras. And look at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of videos of, interaction, with, law enforcement and the public, good, bad, or otherwise. And it'd be very clear on what that technology is and how good it is.
You know, like, you know, I mean, I've seen it on my own already, but still no, you know what I mean, just so. Somebody that isn't privy to any of that, or you're, you know, as far as a smartphone, they're not looking into that a little bit, at least they're. If they call for the question on things, at least you got something to talk about, right?
Yeah, there'll be some good things that are public record that will be
Yeah.
recorded. There'll be some good happening.
Yeah. And, you know, we're also planning to use these as training as well. And then we have to do audits.
I had a discussion with Matt Zinnel. He lives in town here, you know, and he goes, best thing we did. Because what it does is the county attorney, you know, has the discretion, and what it does is it just speeds cases up for those days. And there ain't no, the technicalities are pretty much covered. So he goes, it's best thing we ever did, plus it protects us too.
It takes the what did you see arguments.
Well, there's,
Out of there.
and even, you know, even with our current technology with our in-squad cameras, you know, I wouldn't say a regular basis, but, you know, occasionally we'll get a call from somebody saying that, you know, your deputy was rude. Or your deputy used foul language, during the traffic stop. And I want to file a complaint against he or she, whatever it may be, like, okay, well, I understand. What was, you know, I'll ask the questions, what was the case, when was this, yada, 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 did you get a ticket, did you not? That's all documented on our end, on our records management side and CAD side. And 9 times out of 10, when I said, okay, well, I will pull the squad video. And take a look at that. The follow-up question by the person calling said, you have video? Oh, yes, we do. I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, it does happen that fast.
It happens more than you think too.
Yeah, and,
So,
or you say, okay, I'll look at the video and I'll get back to you, and then you review the video and you see that the deputy was very professional in the stop. There wasn't any raising of voice, foul language, vulgar language, anything like that, and then you call the person back and say, well, I reviewed the video and this is what I see. And they're like, yeah, okay, thanks for your time.
I think it's an exciting program. It's gonna be helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Enjoy your, you're gonna stop up after. Okay.
Anybody got anything else?
One thing that I was gonna mention. Job shadowing, there's some of our high schools offer classes that has to, part of the class is job shadowing. And when we, if there's interest in a student coming to Grant County office to do some job shadowing. In the past, we've done that, and we have the students sign a confidentiality statement, and then they spend the afternoon or the morning or the day, whatever it works out to be. And it's been a really positive experience, and we've had some requests for some job shadowing again, and there is someone that wants to come and job shadow the auditor's office, so I was just gonna let you guys know that, and I think it's just, again, a positive thing to make sure that you're aware of, and exciting that there's young people that are interested to see how county government works.
Were they planning on coming to the meetings here too?
It's just for a day, it's not a period of time.
Okay.
But,
So dozen of them?
no,
20 of
there's one right now, but there's been some in the past too.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've had kids here that
Yeah.
before, so. Good. Sounds like that's a department head decision.
Yep.
Got anything else, Tina?
No, just committee report for last week on the agenda.
Okay, board committee updates? Budget and finance, Troy and Bill,
Meeting Friday.
Yep.
building committee,
Remember the last time we met? It was a couple weeks ago. Maya was here and we haven't met since then.
There was I think the question about the recycling containers.
Yeah, he sent it out in an email.
Mhm. At the courthouse.
Let's get a meeting to talk about that. Kind of expensive, isn't it?
I can't remember the details, but that is something that, a pilot project of getting those recycling things to see if they're used, at the courthouse, so that would be coming in the future.
Slim Jim containers.
okay, personnel committee, we kind of went over that today. What's been going on so lately? Highway committee,
We're gonna meet at 2 o'clock today,
Yep.
other than that. The only thing, Bill?
No.
public safety,
We're gonna talk about, sheriff's contracts.
solid waste,
Well, we meet next week. As well as strategic planning, so, but I don't know that I have anything to add to it until then, but what's going on.
Verizon,
I wasn't there, I was in Canada.
I wasn't there, I was combine, so.
Okay.
I think they're still there though.
Yeah, I let Ann know I wasn't here.
Western Prairie,
Just moving along, they should have been. Traverse County was supposed to get MOA to approved today. So we did talk about last time, right, that we were gonna be sending Grant County a bill for the longevity. Cause we'd all agreed that each county had agreed, it's not. I'm updating my computer, otherwise I could look, it's not a huge dollar figure, but. Each county had agreed to pay that longevity and then it got dropped, so.
They were doing it, right, Troy? Western Prairie was.
Well, no, we said we were going to, but then we never did.
Oh,
So we're going, cause now with another county coming in, we're
Yeah.
gonna start, so I believe what we're gonna do is we will bill for a year at a time. So it's just like January 2nd, there'll be a bill sent that former Grant County employees were paid this much, I think it's like $10,000.
So the, Dwight and Bill, you're on the EMS committee. And I was reading, I can't remember exactly, there's Lake Region, there's some changes on that hospital clinic system.
Yeah, with a strategic, or, yeah, they got it, they're labeled a different.
They're combining da-da-da-da, does that have an effect on what we're like? What's happening with the ambulance and how it relates to that we need to be researching or talking about?
I don't think there's,
I,
it's not in our discretion, you know, us levying for an ambulance, you know what I mean? I don't think it has anything to do with, and being that revenue, whether, you know what I mean, it moves to Hoffman and the ambulance gets earmarked and we head that direction, or however this works. You know, I don't think it has any bearing on what's happening up there.
But the, what else, the lake? It may, right, or doesn't, or not?
well,
There
what
isn't-
I was reading was, it had to do with, how insurance, Medicare was billed out and stuff, cause they labeled it a, step higher hospital,
Good flags.
critical access hospital, that's what you're talking, right?
Well, they're putting. Lake Region, or there's some changes, you know, I read the article and they had Madison voted and, which would include the Elk Lake ambulance.
Yep,
There is an EMS committee meeting coming up
Yeah,
at the end of this month, so hopefully we'll get some updates from.
feedback on that.
Mhm.
No,
but on that note, you know, Hoffman, they've been asking a little bit about, you know, cause they wanna order that ambulance. And we haven't given them the go ahead yet, but I suppose we gotta wait until the final budget is
Well, we'll
done, you know.
get to that
we'll talk
EMS
about
meeting
that. Yeah,
next,
so,
and then we'll move forward from there. So with back to Western Prairies, the press release that Stacy sent out, I sent it to Backer and Rasmussen. And, it did some discussions, I sent it to the Land of the Dancing Sky Agency and Aging Board. And they get an email that they got to come back here that said they appreciated what went on and they're gonna pass it on to the people that matter. And I had a West Central Initiative, you know, Zoom event that I jumped on. And so that press release actually went to West Central Initiative through Stacy, and she's working with a gal and they're looking into that as well. And possibly some funding for food stamps. Not so much out of Dancing Sky, but maybe West Central Initiative.
Who are the people that matter?
What?
You said it was being sent on to the people that matter.
Well, that
Don't
can do
all
something
people
about it.
matter?
it's they.
Well, okay. That will actually carry the ball. Okay, I'll return that, okay? The people that will carry the ball there.
Now I'm really interested. Who's carrying the ball?
Here, I'll look.
So Tina, this thing from Sherburne County. You said you showed this to Justin or?
Nope, I had a conversation with Justin, so I received in the mail, a resolution from Sherburne County that they sent out to other counties. In regards to, what is it, Doyle, is it nuclear waste?
Yeah, Nuclear, Energy Alliance.
Yeah, so, they sent it out to all the counties and it's a resolution showing support. For the efforts that some counties are doing. They talked about it at AMC using those, the nuclear plants waste. As a new source of some sort of energy.
Mhm.
And I'm not very, researched in how that all works, but there's counties that are interested in this. But they're trying to get legislation to support it, so I think the resolution has been sent out to all the counties, asking other counties that maybe don't have. That opportunity in our area, but looking for support. So, I've never received a resolution in the mail like that, so I did ask Justin, I said, you know, what do I do with this? And he said to give it to the board chair, and then if it's something that the board would like to see or discuss at a board meeting. And, we put it on the agenda and do that, so I gave it to Doyle and said, you know, let me know what you guys would like to do with this.
And that's that letter right there.
Well, wouldn't we wanna do a little research with AMC, because I mean, from a overall 87 county concept, they would be able to weigh in on it, and
I don't think we wanna do anything about it at this point.
I think it's early in its stages. Tina, can you send me what they sent you, or is it just this?
It's just that.
You can have that.
Okay. I wonder where the PUC is. Public Utilities Commission, I wonder where they're at.
So Grant County's bill, it looks like for 25, they'll get early in 26, will be $7,182.
And that would go on, Troy, until.
Tell every employee that has longevity cause no one new gets it.
Right, so that was my question, though, I thought Stacy said, like, we have had Grant County employees retire out of Western Prairie, I thought she said they covered that.
Well, so Grant County recovers, so what you had for vacation sick time. If you retire, and let's say that's 75% of what they retired with for vacation sick time, Grant County pays that, they send a bill. Cause rather than when we merged, one of the other, that was one option, the other one was we would just send that money to Western Prairie, well. No, because we wanted to hold on to it. So that's. So, but as those individuals retire, that comes off of the county's liability. So yeah, we've been paying that, we were just supposed to be doing this and we hadn't been, so.
Anybody got anything else? Not, we'll adjourn at 10:36.
No,